StockPulse Newsroom here. We are talking Eagle Plains Resources today. That's EPL and the Toronto Venture Exchange. And I've got Tim Termundi, the chief executive over there. And Tim put out some news today on reorganizing the royalty assets. I guess we'll get to that in a minute here. But I guess let's hit the elephant in the room first. What a rough market out there. But even through this, you built a company here. You always kept the share structure tight here. And I got to say, I don't even own any stock here yet. But this one here looks like you put together good here. You're built for this type of environment. So yeah, let's get into the health of the company here, and let's talk about what you're doing here, reorganizing your royalty assets. So Tim Termundi, I appreciate you taking the time.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Rob. And it's good to be here, and always a pleasure doing interviews with you. I think it can't be understated. I mean, everybody knows we're in a market downturn right now. We have been for months and months, and it seems to not be getting better before it gets worse. We're just going into tax loss season right now. But having said that, I know I joke a little bit that we're roughly the same share price we were exactly 1 year ago. Which normally I wouldn't be really proud of. But if you look at the TSX Venture Moving Average, it's down 40%. So, I kind of joke that flat is the new up. We've been able to keep our share price intact. And despite that, we still have, we have roughly $10 million in treasury and various other instruments. We've got short-term securities, we've got real estate. So, we've got hard assets of $12 to $13 million and a market cap of about $17 million. So we're, trading near our breakup value, but we have a lot to talk about as far as potential catalysts for moving upward from here.
Yeah, well, let's get into those catalysts here. I know you're doing some drilling here at your Vulcan project, and then going to reorganize the royalties. So yeah, you get into whichever one you want to talk about first.
Yeah, sure. We just put out news a couple of weeks ago about our drilling completion on the Vulcan project. Vulcan is near Kimberley, BC, which is the home of the Sullivan deposit. The Sullivan is a world-class monster of a deposit. It was the biggest mine in the world for 60 years. It ran for 100 years with an average of 400 to 500 employees for 100 years. So the economic engine that Sullivan has created is huge. It's got an in-ground value right now of about $40 billion, $40 to $50 billion. And it is a base metal deposit, silver, lead, zinc primarily, but it has basically an alphabet soup of all the elements in the periodic table: tin, tungsten, cadmium. Everything's in the Sullivan itself except gold, funnily enough. But we are targeting a project 30 kilometers from the Sullivan mine. We are in the same stratigraphic package as the Sullivan. I've been involved with this project for about 30 years, and this year we did 3 drill holes, deeper holes, like 400 to 600 meter holes, and the second of our 3 holes hit very, very encouraging mineralization that indicates we are very close to a feeder system. We have no idea the size of the system, or is this a Sullivan, or could it be? We are at the same stratigraphic interval as Sullivan, so the indications are good. But we hit geologic indicators, including mineralized zinc mineralized fragments in a fragmental zinc mineralized class. We hit bedded lead zinc mineralization over narrow bands, 3 to 7 centimeters. But all these are hallmarks of a system nearby. We've had a lot of ex-Cominco experts on the Sullivan look at our core here in the last few weeks, and they all sort of agree to a man that this is probably the most significant hole ever drilled in this area outside of the Sullivan mine complex itself. So we think we're on the right track on this thing. We're looking at alternatives for drilling next year, like various plans. We're planning right now. We're permitted for drilling next year. I can guarantee we will be drilling next year. Whether we're doing it 100% or with partners, we'll be deciding that. But I'm very, very excited about that. We're looking forward to getting the assays back. I don't know if these will be ore grade or not. Sometimes zinc is a little tricky. You can't estimate it visually. So there is a fair amount of sphalerite in this core. We've shown pictures of the core on our website and with the news release. So fingers crossed for analytical results that sort of push it to the economic realm. But we won't be disappointed either. It'll just prove that we're on the right track, no matter what those results are. So we're not trying to get the market excited about these results. We're already excited based on the geology.
So I guess we'll stay tuned to see how that one proves out here. But let's get into Eagle Royalties Limited here, the new sub here to reorganize the royalty assets. Throughout the years, you put together quite a package. I want you to talk about that.
Yeah, Eagle Plains has been around since 1992, so we've got a 30-year history. Over the years, we've done quite a few property deals where we sold claims 100% outright to another company and kept a 2% royalty or various royalties from 0.5 to 2.5%. So, these have sort of added up over the years. And typically we look at these things as lottery tickets. These projects might go into production someday. If they do go into production and the ore is on the claims, we have royalties. These things can be tremendously valuable. So we found out earlier this year that one of our royalties that's been in place actually on a property we've had since 1997 that we sold in 2008, I believe. We've had royalties on those, and that's called the Ormac project in the Yukon that's being drilled by Banyan Gold right now. We have royalties 2% and 1% over a large area of their inferred resource. They put out an inferred resource earlier this year in June. They put out a 43-101 that outlined an inferred resource of about 4 million ounces. Much of that, I'd say approaching, 40 to 60% of that is on claims that we hold the royalty on. So those, we're waiting to see how big this resource gets. Banyan was drilling all summer. They just completed a 30,000 meter drill program, so 100,000 foot drill program, drilling holes basically on 100 meter centers. So they're expanding the footprint considerably of their mineral resource. So we are hopeful that the resource will get even larger. We're hopeful that it'll get larger over claims that we have the royalties on. So we're sitting back and waiting for more information coming from them. But that sort of, for us, was our first royalty that sort of took off. So then we started looking at all our other royalties, and is there value there? And we decided that there certainly is value there. Royalty companies are very, very interested in acquiring royalty assets. We have probably 25 of them in place right now, and we also have another 20 to 30 projects that we can create royalties on. We have them 100% in Eagle Plains with no partners, so we can just create 1 or 2% royalties on these. And so we decided, if we're going to get in the royalty space, we need to separate it from everything else Eagle Plains is doing. It's hard to talk about 2 or 3 great things happening at once. It's going to be a lot easier to sort of focus the royalty assets in a separate company. We'll put up a separate website. We'll have a lot of maps, a lot of information, so that we can sort of inform investors that we have had a sleeping asset in Eagle Plains, but it's waking up now.
The epitome of a project generator and what it's supposed to do and built to do. So, Tim Termuende, I appreciate the update there. Eagle Plains EPL Venture Exchange. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Rob. Bye-bye.